Welcome to Broad Street Phanatics, episode number 38. I am here with my co-host, Kim Bogdanov, and we have a special guest, the Michigan Tech head football coach, Steve Olson, and we are excited to see what he has to say about his team. So welcome.
Thank you. We're happy to be here to visit with you guys.
So my first question is, what got you into coaching a Division III football program?
Well, so we're a Division II football program, and I got into coaching a long time ago. Obviously, when I went to college, that was what I wanted to do, and so I have an education degree in both biology. So I was trained to be a biology teacher as well as a physical education instructor. And I kind of knew that's what I wanted to do. So I was coaching at an early age. While I was in college, I was coaching youth baseball, that sort of stuff. And then after college, I started coaching in high school. And like I said, that's what I always wanted to do. And that was my first opportunity to really coach football at that point in time. And so ended up going on to do that. And also for a long time, I got to coach baseball as well at college level. So it's been a good time. It's been 30 plus years of college athletics and been very happy to do it in a few years of high school as well.
What's been your favorite memory in the past years coaching at Michigan Tech?
Well, what I would say is that, we had, a very big win last year at Wayne State, but in the history of the school, I mean, I obviously look at the success that our student athletes do or have had and how they go out and accomplish their stuff and get out into the working world and do those type of things. Our school has and produces a lot of engineers, so a lot of our guys are very, very good students from that perspective and go out and go into some very good degree fields.
What is a typical day like on game days and during the off season?
Okay. So during game days, a typical day for us, if we are at home, would consist of a pregame meal, probably around 9 o'clock in the morning at that time. And then our guys will leave for a little bit and then they'll check into the building probably around 10:30 or 10:45, somewhere in that area, as they get ready for a 1 o'clock game. And then, of course, for the players, there's a lot of time where they're kind of getting themselves ready, doing their own thing. A lot of them listen to their own music, and they're prepping themselves mentally for the game. And then about an hour before the games, different groups start to get up to the field and start to do their workouts. And then we head into the game. It starts at 1 o'clock and that'll go till 4. And then when the game's over, that's a good opportunity for our players and our coaches to spend time with family and get a chance to decompress for football for a few hours, which is their first opportunity to really do that during the week. It's a really good thing. It's a necessary thing. Okay. What was the follow-up question on that one?
The second part was the off season.
Okay. Yeah, so for the off season for our guys, and I'm going to talk about a typical day maybe in February, something like that. For our guys, they're going to get up and they're going to lift in the morning. Our lift times go for about an hour and 15 minutes. We'll do that 4 days a week. And so that gets us into about 5 hours total of work that we're doing from a lifting standpoint during the week. And then aside from that, we might do some stuff on Saturday mornings where we're only allowed 8 contact hours with our players in the off season per week. So on Saturdays, we'll do some short workouts where we're moving and doing some individual type stuff and drill work positionally and getting guys going around from that standpoint. And that's usually about an hour, but we also mix in some Saturdays where we have some competitive games and things like that. And then that still gives us a couple of hours left in our total of 8 hours for the week that we can do some film study. So that's a typical off-season week from a standpoint of what we're allowed to do with our players.
So my next question is, what are your thoughts on this season schedule?
Okay. So we play in the Great Lakes Intercollegiate Athletic Conference, the GLIAC, which is primarily a Michigan league. It's a very, very good football league, one of the top ones in the country, if not the top league in the country. We had the national championship football team in our league, Ferris State Bulldogs, and they rolled through to the national championship and won that game very handily. We also have Grand Valley State, who's ranked third, I think, in the country right now, was seventh in the country last year. So a very good football team. And then everybody else in our team, in our league, is very good, very competitive, and could compete pretty much nationally against most football teams throughout the country. So we are a very good, very competitive league. So that's always a challenge. And then outside of our league, this year we're playing a very good football team, and at the University of Wisconsin-Platteville to open up our season. They returned 19 starters from their team. And then that's followed up by going to St. Thomas Division I football team and play them. And then we go to Midwestern State, who's a very good football team out of the Lone Star, and actually won that league last year. So we have a very competitive non-conference schedule, followed up by a very good conference schedule. In our non-conference schedule, we also have one game against Saginaw Valley, who was a very good football team last year. So it's a very challenging schedule. We're looking forward to it. It's always challenging in our league. So we're looking forward to getting going and cranking it up. And this year is our 100th year of football at Michigan Tech. So we're excited about celebrating 100 years of Michigan Tech producing, players and football teams and players that have gone on to be very successful as men in the business world.
Mm-hmm. What do you like to do during your free time?
What do I like to do during my free time? Well, when I can do it, I love to fish. I do like to smoke things. I like to barbecue and do that sort of thing. So those are kind of some of my biggest hobbies that I would do.
Did you like how did you like starting your career being the linebackers coach?
Yeah, so in my career as a football coach at Michigan Tech and throughout my career, mostly I've coached on the defensive side of the ball. Probably most of my career I've coached defensive line, but starting at Michigan Tech, I did coach linebackers here, and worked with another coach, and I coordinated the defensive front, the defensive line, and linebackers. He was the defensive coordinator and coordinated the defensive backs. From that standpoint, and eventually that progressed into him leaving for a full-time coaching or a head coaching job, and me becoming the defensive coordinator. And then a few years after that, our head coach retired, and I was fortunate enough to be able to take over as the head coach here at Michigan Tech, and very proud to be the head coach here at Michigan Tech. But again, when you talk about coaching those sports and those aspects, obviously, coaching linebackers is different. I've coached everywhere on the defensive side of the ball over my career, and I coached 1 year in the offensive line. But looking at it from a standpoint of coaching the defensive line, that technique work that you have to have is very important, because that stuff happens right away initially at the point of the ball, and it's very close contact that happens immediately. The linebackers obviously need to be aware of the run game and where they fit in the run game, how physically they fit in the run game, all of those type of things, but they also have to be able to read and see past stuff as well and know where their drops are in coordination with the rest of the secondary from that standpoint. So it's always a pleasure to be able to coach all those positions. They all have their own unique areas that they specialize in. Those defensive backs are a little farther away from the ball, but for them, being able to read and get the correct reads becomes very critical in the development of them reading run or pass. And then from that, once they get a pass read, where do they fit in the pass route concepts that are developing based upon the coverage it's called.
What are you looking forward to when the season arrives?
Well, I always say the best day of the year is when our players get back on campus. So we fortunately haven't a lot of them here, but our freshmen will be arriving on Sunday. So I love this first Sunday, this first day when these players get here. It's awesome to see them and see their excited faces and stuff like that. And that's always a big thing and a lot of fun.
So thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to come on, and we definitely look forward to seeing what you guys can do this season. And thanks again.
Thank you very much.